says don't cry. I'll see you in a little while. In another life you'd be my girl. We would slay the kings and rule the world. And it's a shame that you can't come along, but you have your whole life for you at home. I close my eyes, I see your smile. I'll see you in a little while. Sometimes I think about what could have been, and the normal life we could have lived. There's no way that could ever be, or anything but normal, aren't we? Close your eyes, it'll be alright. Let me see that smile. I'll see you in a little while. Sitting there, exhaust in the air, this feeling came over me. Rush hour traffic in a concrete jungle, this can't be my destiny. I drifted back to when I was young, no responsibilities, those days in the sun and all of that fun down in the Florida Keys. Now I'm singing, I've got a Keys disease. I want a pina colada and some swaying palm trees. Somebody tell her for me, please. Lord have mercy, I've got a Keys disease. I was sitting there with that same old stare, writing my computer screen, the same paperwork and the same office queue. There's no way this was my dream. So I Googled Key Largo to find a picture of a better place. Days in the sun and all of that fun down in the Florida Keys. Now I'm singing, I've got a Keys disease. I want a top town ride with some artists.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show here on YouTube, Facebook, and JNC Radio via the Live365 app or jncpodcast.com. I am your host, Brad Brock, and thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning. Some of you were in here a little early. Philip and Pam in there just chatting away in the chats. I love it. I love it. I am reading the chats and comments as often as possible. So if you got anything to add, bye, Jordan. If you got anything to add, please drop me a line in there. We also have, of course, the JNC hotline open for you to call into 772-888-1596. Follow the prompts, and I'll get you on the air if you got anything to chime in about some of the topics that we're talking about now that we're in November and that Halloween is behind us. So we're talking holiday stuff today throughout the show. So I need your opinion on some things. So we'll get to that. We do have some interesting stories. We're going to talk a little bit about Dogecoin. If any of you are investors in Dogecoin, we'll talk about that today. We're going to talk a little bit about Kanye West, and we got quite a bit of entertainment news. We have a couple sad stories. In fact, most of them are sad, but for different reasons. We're going to talk about that. Big entertainment day. But of course, we're going to kick off everything with our Treasure Coast weather update here. And of course, looking out the window, it looks beautiful out. That's looks like it's probably a little humid and hot because there's some condensation on the window. But the forecast has it this morning, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 70s for the Palm Beaches and the low to mid 70s for the Treasure Coast. So patchy fog along the Treasure Coast and inland, and a few coastal showers possible for the morning drive. This afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 80s under a mix of sun and clouds and some showers and storms, mainly inland. Models show a band of heavy rain pushing into the Treasure Coast after 7 p.m. tonight, so goody. We're going to get some leaky lounge rain here for the podcast tonight. That's wonderful news. Tonight, partly cloudy with a few showers and lows down to the low to mid 70s. Tomorrow, we're looking at morning temperatures in the low to mid 70s and patchy fog through around 9 a.m. and afternoon highs in the mid 80s with some showers and storms to start, then clearing out by the evening time. Friday morning, we're going to have temperatures in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and afternoon highs in the mid 80s with a little less humidity, and a few isolated showers are possible. So that's kicking into the weekend there. We also have Philip's irrelevant weather report for Tennessee. He said it's going to be in the mid 50s. Slight chance of rain today, low 70s today. Clearing and no rain chances for Thursday and Friday. He said Control-C, Control-V. Just a carbon copy of yesterday's weather. All right. So we'll dive straight into our national days here. Get those out of the way. Well, let's find them. That would be helpful. There's only a few today. It is National Stress Awareness Day. Any of you experience stress of any kind out there? I can't imagine there's one single person that hasn't been stressed, but awareness is the first step to tackling that thing. Of course, it's on the first Wednesday in November, and aims to identify and reduce the stress factors in your life. Listen, everyone has stress. Some stress is good for us. It helps us to respond to changes in life. Stress is our body's way of protecting itself from harm. However, too much stress causes harm to our health and relationships. So identifying the stressors impacting our physical and mental health is important. Sometimes health problems are the cause, but our health can also be affected by external stressors, such as physical abuse, stressful work environments, financial stress, and other family health issues. Once we identify the causes of stress in our lives, we can begin to eliminate or reduce stress. Some tools that help with stress include developing coping skills for anxiety. You can also identify and let go of things that you cannot change, something that I try to implement on my life daily. Not to say that these are easy, but you should probably look into it. Exercise to help us let go of built-up anxiety. And, of course, eating a balanced diet fuels our bodies so we're able to better cope with the stress that we get on the daily. And finally, having a nice glass of rum. Thank you, Philip. That's important. I mean, so I think it would be irresponsible for me to say get your drink on to reduce stress. However, for me and for some, perhaps that is a solution. I'm not saying going out and getting faceplant drunk or blind stinking drunk every night is the answer, but maybe having a nice beer after a long hard day, or having a nice scotch, putting on some music. Those are stress relievers for me, and I do them. And Philip, I feel like you have your own list of things that are stress relievers. He said rum and Mexican fajitas. I like all of those things. They should be on the list. Jordan and I actually, we had tacos last night for dinner. There's this great spot called Senor Jose's. It's a block away from our house, which is wonderful. And we of course, any restaurant that just opens up, there's bound to be some snafus. And we went in, I think, on the very first day they were open, and it was a little treacherous. And we went again probably a week later, and it was still a little wonky. It's been months now. And we went last night, and it was wonderful. The food was exceptional. The service was top notch. Everything was great. It was a nice little night out for us after a long day. So good stuff. So if you're in the Port St. Lucie area and you have a taco craving, check out Senor Jose's. They were wonderful. What other national days do we have today? Here's a way to, if you really want to stress yourself out and make these yourself, I encourage that. Otherwise, you could probably get them pre-made, but it is National Deviled Egg Day. Who doesn't love a good deviled egg? Features a favorite hors d'oeuvre or side dish for parties, holidays, family reunions, and potluck dinners. Deviled eggs shine as the star of the show each year on November 2nd. As well, food wows guests during the holidays. Designers have even created specifically designed carrying dishes and plates just so you can deliver your deviled eggs safely and in style. The deli section of the grocery store prepares packaged deviled eggs, as I mentioned. They can even be found in some convenience stores, too. I have to admit, we do have the Tupperware container for deviled eggs, the little egg-shaped slots to put the eggs in. It works wonders. I love deviled eggs. I think they're the bee's knees. But they are the worst to make. Oh my God. Pain in the butt. National Deviled Eggs Day. Now I want deviled eggs. So good. What else do we got here? It's also National Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. It honors those in radio and television traffic departments. Each year, the observance takes place on November 2nd, unless that day falls on a weekend. Then it's observed on the following Monday. Broadcast traffic professionals schedule and work diligently with programs, announcements, and much more on our nation's broadcast stations. These experts ensure that listeners get the daily dose of their favorite programs, but that their commercial supporters get the airtime they paid for. I wish we had any of those here on JNC Radio. I need a traffic professional. Like I said, if I hit the jackpot tonight, I probably won't say anything about it, but there will be signs. We may have more staff than usual. And what else? I think that might be it. It's All Souls Day as well. Each year on November 2nd, All Souls Day commemorates baptized Christians who are believed to be in purgatory. The day is also known as a commemoration of all the faithful departed. Both All Souls Day and the Day of the Dead honor the souls of the dearly departed. However, they're not the same, and there are major differences between the two. The Day of the Dead began in Mexico. This day focuses on a celebration of the departed. It's also a day the living try to briefly reunite with their lost loved ones. On All Souls Day, Catholics are encouraged to pray for the souls of their loved ones. They do this because their souls might be in purgatory. And of course, that's a temporary place of punishment that sinners are waiting to be purified of their sins before ascending to heaven. The idea of purgatory came about during the Middle Ages in 1170. The teaching stems from a verse in the book of 2 Maccabees, which is included in the Catholic Bible. Roman Catholics teach that souls end up in purgatory when they're not in a perfect state of grace and communion with God when they die. All Souls Day is not observed by most Protestant denominations, as they do not believe in purgatory. Some Protestant churches, however, such as the Anglicans, observe the day by praying for the dead. How very kind. There you go. And that's your national days today. And speaking of the church and all things holy, I want to talk a little bit about Christmas. Because it was brought to my attention that there's a specific time to begin decorating for Christmas. And I need opinions. So I guess I'll preface this conversation by saying my Christmas tree is up. I put it up last night. And my reasoning is that it's such a hassle to put the tree up and decorate it and, put up decorations in general. Why should we only get to experience it for 1 month? Halloween is done. Thanksgiving is, we usually celebrate it at somebody else's house. No one to judge us, at least directly to my face. So why not? And I guess to follow that up, when do you all put up your Christmas decorations? Feel free to drop that in the chats and comments. I'd love to know, when do you traditionally put up your Christmas tree or other holiday decorations? The menorah, the Festivus for the rest of us tree. When do y'all typically start decorating for the holidays? And with that in mind, apparently there's an exact date that you should put up your Christmas decorations or holiday trimmings, if you will. According to this article, and several, but this was the one that I decided to pick up. I had to, triangulate and figure out exactly what it is, but there is a tradition. And according to tradition, Christmas trees and decorations should go up on the first day of Advent, which is the fourth Sunday before Christmas. And this year, that falls on Sunday, the 27th of November. So I'm quite a bit early on Christmas decorating. New research conducted by Confused.com, wonderful, found that 47% of people put decorations up between the 1st and 10th of December, with 62% adding that December is when Christmas season officially starts. Elsewhere, they also found that over half, 51%, said that they put their indoor and outdoor Christmas decorations up at the same time. And nearly 7 in 10 people say they put their indoor decorations up before they work on making the outside festive. That is me. I am in that 68%. The team at Confused.com say, if you're a Christmas enthusiast, you're not alone this year. Their research revealed that over half put up their decorations early so they have plenty of time to enjoy them. That's where I am. The third said it saves them doing it in December when life becomes increasingly hectic. And I understand that as well. But I do it just because I love the season. I will admit, Christmas music, by the end of it, it drives me nuts, but in the beginning, I love it. And we just said this yesterday. Mariah Carey came out and said, it's time. So I feel like if I have permission from Mariah Carey that we're doing okay. Dr. Elena Tironi, the consultant psychologist and the co-founder of the Chelsea Psychology Clinic, adds Christmas activities like decorating the house or the tree are happy and often shared experiences that provide a temporary break from the reality of what's happening in the world right now. Just to put that little note on there. Philip says, right around Thanksgiving is when they put up their decorations. He said, but they may try the early bird thing. Join the Christmas Decorators Anonymous group. Yes. And I don't know. I feel like by the time December rolls around, all the decorations that have been at the stores are picked through and picked over. If you go right now, there's plenty to look at. There's plenty to pick through and decide how you're going to decorate this year. I told Jordan just last night, I was like, I think it's time to take a trip to the store and look at some new decorations because we've been rocking the same ones for years now, and some of them are a little tired. I think is the nicest way to put that. There's some tired decorations. But we just bought the new tree. We got a great pre-lit tree. We made that choice last year after rocking the same hand-me-down tree. The old tree, listen, you guys, this thing was an abomination. Once upon a time, it was a pre-lit tree, but it had since all of its lights had burnt out. So we would put this tree up, burnt lights out and all, and just wrap it in regular Christmas lights. So if you got really from afar, it was wonderful. It looked great. But if you got close up, you saw strands and strands of burnt out lights. And then eventually even those lights that we were wrapping the tree in started burning out. So, we'd wake up one morning and go out and the tree would have half of the lights out on it. Really, we really made that tree stretch, Jordan. But we did go out last year and we got a nice tree, a little bit thinner. Fit a little bit better in our space. And once we get everything decorated, I'll take some photos and we'll share them here on the show. But, yeah, in my personal opinion, I don't think there's any time frame. You want to decorate your house for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Festivus, or any other variations of the holidays, knock yourself out. It actually started as a joke. Jordan was like, because on Halloween I was waiting by the window in costume for her to get home from work so we could pass out candy to trick-or-treaters. She thought that was adorable. And so she asked me if I was going to be standing by the window again, and I said, Halloween's over. It's Christmas time now. And she's like, well, the Christmas tree better be up when I get home, Brad. And I took that as a challenge. Typically, I would put up Christmas decorations immediately after Thanksgiving. I think that's what we've done in years past. And Philip was saying right around Thanksgiving as well. But I'm throwing caution to the wind this year. The decorations are going up. Presently. But, all right. Moving on from that. I do want to hear from you guys, though. If you're tuning in late or listening and just haven't had a chance to chime in, you can send a message anyway. I would love to know when you set up for the holidays. Another thing I noticed over the weekend is Dogecoin. Dogecoin has been soaring. It's been sitting pretty stagnant over the last 5 months. Dogecoin, of course, for those of you who don't know, is cryptocurrency. A pretty popular meme currency is what they're talking about. Doge, of course, is a popular meme dog. But during COVID, it became quite popular, and I invested quite a bit of money into it way early on when it was still, like maybe less than a penny. And it had a really big surge in 2020 where it went nearly almost made it to $1, which would have been incredible. It had since slumped back down and was hovering around 5 cents, 5 to 8 cents for quite a long time, maybe better part of a year. But recently, I noticed and wasn't really paying attention to the news because I was down fantasy festing this weekend. But I kept getting alerts saying Doge is up, Doge is up. And it's been hovering in around the 15 cents area now, which is obviously twice what it has been, twice or more. So I decided I needed to do some research and find out why this was surging. Well, the answer is clear. It's undeniable that Dogecoin is once again benefiting from the developments that involve the Doge father, Elon Musk. Makes complete sense. Shortly after the Tesla CEO completed his $44 billion purchase of the social media giant Twitter, Doge price surged. Although it was already in bullish momentum following the crypto market rally on October 25th, what might be fueling this Dogecoin price bump is the excitement among its community and the public in general, with the possibility of it being allowed as payment for Twitter services. That's when cryptocurrency becomes a big deal, is when people begin accepting it as payment. That's why Bitcoin went through the roof. Be recalled that Musk's Tesla is already accepting the digital currency in exchange for some of its merchandise. The new Twitter daddy, however, is still mum on this idea and has not mentioned the dog-themed crypto since his takeover. Still, the effects of this development remain apparent, and the Dogecoin millionaires are enjoying and loving every minute of it. I wouldn't say that I'm a Dogecoin millionaire, but certainly a prospector. I did put a bunch of money into it when we had nothing else to do during lockdowns and such. So I have my magic number. Because I'm not a serious investor, but I have my magic number. If my crypto reaches a certain number, I will sell my coins and take those greenbacks. Take the cash. But if it doesn't reach that number, then I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride. But yeah, let me know. Anybody else out there, Dogecoin investors? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. Some people are crazy about crypto. Like they watch it incessantly, noting any fluctuations, moving their money around into different cryptos that are doing better or looking more prospective. Not me. I honestly have no idea what it is really and what I'm doing, but I put it there and that's where it's going to stay. Speaking of money, Kanye West, or Ye as he likes to be known now legally, his fans are super loyal, you guys. I can't believe it. I wish that I had fans this loyal. Apparently, Ye's fans started a GoFundMe campaign to make the embattled rapper a billionaire again. Supporters launched several pages, one consistently being named Make Kanye West a Billionaire Again, with a fundraising goal of $1 billion. After, of course, his net worth took a serious hit last week when Adidas dropped him. That specific fundraiser only raised $5 and has since been taken down, as if copycats that have popped up in its place. Dozens of people have since promoted their own GoFundMe pages, encouraging others to make them billionaires instead of Kanye West. The fan previously started a GoFundMe page to raise $53 million for the Grammy winner after he claimed in 2016 that he was in debt for that amount. The fan, Jeremy Pyatt, he actually wound up crowdsourcing $57,000. Kanye declined the funds, and the money was instead donated to Notes for Notes, which is a music charity. How nice. Of course, as mentioned, the latest round of fundraiser started after Adidas ended its lucrative partnership with Kanye West. What a fan base. What a lovely group of people. Because of his own doing, he lost the biggest endorsement or biggest partnership of his career. As fans stepped up to bring him back to billionaire status, albeit not successfully. But the tenacity is really, really good stuff. Hopefully he figures out his life. All right, we're going to take a quick break for some musics. When we come back, we had a couple music deaths and one celebrity exit from a very popular television show. We're going to talk all about it when we come back here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Thank you so much for listening or watching on YouTube and Facebook and JNC Radio. But don't go away. We'll be right back. There's one from Ben Prestige.
Listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
right, welcome back to the show here. I'm just running my mouth with the microphone off. No big deal. Yes. Before we dive into the next few stories here, I just want to take a minute and talk a little bit about the Jams and Cocktails podcast coming up tonight, live 8 p.m. Eastern. Wherever you're watching this show, you'll find the podcast there as well. And it's our Season 4 finale. So it's been a whirlwind of a season, 16 episodes. And in my opinion, it was the most diverse season that we've had yet. And there was such a great mix of great guests, challenges, a birthday, holidays, and game. We even had a game show. We ran a game show. So really cool season. We're going to be recapping that on the podcast tonight, among other things. So we'll get a chance to say bye to you guys for the season. Then we're going to take off November, and we'll kick it back off the first week of December. And we'll have all kinds of new stuff, but we'll talk about that on the show. So please, if you're not doing anything tonight, join us for the Jams and Cocktails podcast live at 8 p.m. And we're going to take a stroll down memory lane and give you a little bit of insight into what the future is going to hold for Season 5 of the Jams and Cocktails podcast. And as I mentioned, this show will still go on. This radio show, the morning show, will go on and will continue. It'll give me an opportunity really to kind of spruce this show up and add some cool things to it. I think it's due for a little facelift, and without having to work on the podcast, it'll give me an opportunity to spruce the show up and give you guys a little extra, and you deserve it. So, yeah, check us out, Jams and Cocktail Podcast, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, for those of you that are fans of The Witcher television show, or the game even, the show is, of course, brought to you as the game, or from the game, rather. Some sad news. Henry Cavill is putting down his blades and moving on from The Witcher after 3 seasons as the leading man on the Netflix series. The actor confirmed that he'll be stepping away from the role on his Instagram on Friday, writing, "My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I'll be laying down my medallion and my swords for Season 4. He went on to share that actor Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the heroic blonde-haired character. As with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on this most fascinating and nuanced of men," Cavill wrote on his Instagram. On his own Instagram, the Hunger Games star Hemsworth wrote on Saturday that as a fan of the show, he was over the moon about the opportunity to play Geralt of Rivia. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure. The Witcher, which premiered on Netflix in 2019, is based on the fantasy book series and created for television by Lauren Schmidt. It's received favorable reviews and already spawned a second season that was released just last year. Season 3 is due next summer. At the San Diego Comic-Con in 2019, ahead of the show's premiere, Cavill spoke about lobbying for the role after playing a popular video game also based on the literary series. He said, "I'm a gamer. I was very, very passionate about the games. I really hope they make this into a television show or a movie." When the show was finally in development, Cavill was proactive about being considered for the starring role, even before a script had been finalized. "It was something I wasn't going to let pass me by without giving it my best shot," he said at Comic-Con. "I annoyed my agents all the time. They said they're not ready." But now Cavill is surely focused on reprising another iconic previous role on his resume. He was recently confirmed again by portraying Clark Kent, also known as the Man of Steel, in the upcoming projects for DC. On the possible docket is a crossover Film featuring Superman and Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam after Cavill's mid-credits cameo in this month's successful Black Adam film release, as well as a rumored standalone sequel to 2013's Man of Steel. Just days prior to his post about The Witcher, Cavill shared on Instagram an image of himself as Superman along with a video speaking about his return. He said, "A very small taste of what's to come, my friends. The dawn of hope renewed," he wrote. So, sad that he's stepping away from the Witcher role, which he was very, very good in, but he's stepping back into those red boots we all love so well. Henry Cavill, what a cool dude anyway. I'd love to say he's underrated, but I don't think he is. I think everybody knows exactly what's going on there. On some, we got a couple back-to-back sad stories here. Patrick Haggerty, he's a trailblazing gay country star. He passed away at 78 years old. Not quite sad. 78's relatively, that's a relatively long life. When Patrick Haggerty was gearing up to record his very first country music album, he had to make a choice. He could be the industry-friendly country star and remain in the closet, or he could use music to make a statement about what it was like being a gay man in a deeply discriminatory world. He chose the latter. In 1973's Lavender Country, Haggerty's first album recorded under the same name is now widely considered the first country album required by an out gay musician. Haggerty, an unflappable activist for LGBTQ and socialist causes, a married father of two, for years was a persona non grata in the music business. Lavender Country was definitely a queer record with songs like Cryin'. There's some good ones. During a time where few musicians in any genre were comfortable coming out as gay. So it was surprising most of all to Haggerty when he got his chance in 2014 to re-release that historic album and record another one performing with other LGBTQ country musicians and sharing his story with millions. He became a country music star after all. He told CNN earlier this year, "The very thing that sank me in the first place is the very thing that jettisoned me into this position." Haggerty, the pioneering country crooner, passed away Monday, several weeks after he'd had a stroke. And that's according to Brendan Greaves, a close friend and record label executive. He was 78 years old, so a man that was undeniably himself takes his leave. Somebody that was taken too soon is our next story here. Takeoff was a member of the rap group Migos, was fatally shot outside a private party in Houston. Of course, is 1/3 of the platinum-selling rap group Migos. He was shot and killed at only 28 years old, which is a shame. And all the details are not available, obviously. It's an ongoing investigation, but that's terrible. Police received a call of a shooting in progress around 2:30 in the morning. Houston Police Department Chief Troy Finner said at the news conference on Tuesday, officers arrived to the Billiards and Bowling, Houston. There was a private party and found a dead man at the scene. Two other people, a 23-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman, were also injured in the shooting and took themselves to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Employees told police an argument took place after the party ended when a large group of people gathered at the front door area outside of the building, which led to the shooting. These 40 people were at the scene at the time of the shooting. Sergeant Arrington said that a lot of people that were there fled the scene and did not stick around to give a statement. Finner identified the deceased man as Takeoff from Migos. Said I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man he is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist he is. Finner said, later adding that Takeoff was a very well-respected and non-violent person. He said, I would not expect him to be involved. We have no reason to believe that he was involved in anything criminal at the time, which is good to know. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner said that they had met with Takeoff's mother. Turner said, it doesn't matter how famous you are. You may not be famous at all. Anybody who loses his or her life is a life lost. And there are family members and friends who are grieving as a result. So, 28, that's a baby. I don't like that. Whatever happened to the old days where if you had a disagreement with somebody, you just went outside and you hand a fist to fist. You got to bring guns and knives into a fist fight. Weird times. All right. Yeah, just a couple of celebrity birthdays here. Turning 56 years old, became known as paleontologist Ross Geller on the sitcom Friends. David Schwimmer, turning 56. That, of course, is a role for which he won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance. In 2016, he portrayed Robert Kardashian on the FX series The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. I never saw that. I wonder how he was in that. I feel like David Schwimmer has a very specific acting style. You know, like one of those actors that are always kind of play the same person. I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from the guy because he's award-winning. But have you ever, or can you guys think of any other actors out there that no matter what you see them in, they're exactly the same character, just with a new name and a new backstory? And then you have other actors that are like chameleons. They can completely change into other people, frighteningly so in some cases. But I don't feel like David Schwimmer's one of them. I think anything I've seen him in other than Friends, it was always kind of Ross. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But happy birthday to David Schwimmer anyway. Turning a whopping 48 years old today, Grammy Award-winning hip-hop artist Nelly. Nelly celebrating his birthday today. Of course, he recorded with the Saint Lunatics and gained recognition with his 2000 album, Country Grammar, which sold over 8 million copies. Still one of my favorite albums to listen to front to back. It came out at a formidable time in my youth. And I used to blast it driving around town in my car. It was a great album. If you guys, I don't know, hip hop fan or not, it really walked the line of pop and hip hop, and was really good. Love Nelly, really fun artist. He's turning 48 years old today. So happy birthday, Nelly. All right, you guys, we might have a little bit of a short show today. I just have a few shameless plugs to hit you with, and then I'm going to let you get on with it, and so I can get to work on tonight's podcast. Speaking of my first shameless plug, I hope that you guys join us tonight for the Jams and Cocktails live podcast on YouTube, Facebook, or you can listen in to us on JNC Radio, but it's more fun to watch. As mentioned, it's going to be our season finale and a recap of the season and a little preview of what's to come. We hope that you tune in with us tonight. Check out JNC Radio if you haven't. You can find it on jncpodcast.com, our official website. You can listen to it there, music 24/7. You can listen to this show in the morning, or you can listen to our podcast on there as well. Check that out. You can also find it on the Live365 Radio app from your favorite app store. It's free, nothing to sign up for. You just get in there, find JNC Radio, add it to your favorites. Bada bing, bada boom. Check that out. Of course, check out Drums and Rums, the Drums and Rums podcast. New podcast just dropped yesterday. Check out our good friend Paul there. And his live streams are on Thursdays. They're a bit shorter than ours. But it's the biggest happy hour in a half hour, a 30-minute show, sometimes a little over that. But Paul's live streams are always a blast, and you can find that on our website, jncpodcast.com. It'll pop up there. You can go straight to his YouTube channel, Drums and Rums. You can find it there as well, and we feature it there. So check that out. Of course, our friends at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, and the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart. Support those who support us, and support local when you can. What else? Am I missing anything? I guess I could plug myself here. You can check out my show's schedule, my one-man band show schedule at bradbrock.com. All my dates are there. It was getting a little slim, so I had to go and I just put all my November dates in. So check that out and come out and see me somewhere. I'll be at Manatee Island on Thursday, my first show in quite a while, at 5:30 p.m. It'd be great to see you guys out there. And if you guys dig what we do and you want to see us do more of it, I always forget to plug this, but it's out there. It exists. Is our Patreon service. Patreon is a great company that helps crowdsource for creators. So you basically sign up for a monthly subscription. I think ours is at $5 a month. And you get some exclusive content, some behind-the-scenes stuff. I think we need to start up our After Dark series again and put it on there. But we just upload. I only remember because we just uploaded a new video there, and it was what was going on on the Halloween special. What was going on between the internet outage and when it came back. And so we had some shenanigans that were going on because I was like, you know what, we can't change this, so we might as well make the best of it. We continued filming. So a little clip of that is up on our Patreon. And it helps us buy gear. It helps us go out and procure these challenges and things like that without having to break the bank to do so. So consider signing up for our Patreon. Links on our website, jncpodcast.com. And it's much appreciated, so thank you for that. I believe that is all my shameless plugs for today. So, with that being said, I hope that you join us tonight on the Jams and Cocktails podcast. You all are wonderful. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hump Day! Take care of yourselves and each other. Broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge this morning, I'm Brad Brock. See you tonight. Jams and Cocktails. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.